I'm still not there. Maybe at a certain point I just stopped caring so much about, you know, just what other people wanted me to sound like. Because yeah, in the beginning when we were, you know, shopping our sound around, then I think I did hear that a lot, that like, you know, maybe my voice didn't have a lot of personality. Or even recently they played us on like KLOS out here in Los Angeles, and they ripped us apart, man. They were just like, they told us we looked and sounded like camp counselors, and like,
I'm sad that they ripped you guys apart.
Man, they did not like us at all, because they were like, if you know, if they liked your song, they would play like the next one. So we had them play Proximity, and I'm so glad that they did not play the next song, because if they didn't like that song, they were not like, the next song was SoCal Summer. I was like, I'm so glad they did not play that song, because they hated Proximity. I was like, if you hate Proximity and you think that's too peppy and funky and funny and like cute, you're gonna hate SoCal Summer.
Oof.
But we got some good feedback from it. Like, people were writing in to the station or calling into the station saying like, I like this.
Yeah.
But like, it came down to like that vote thing, and like the last person they called was like, no, I didn't like it, so we didn't get to go on.
Yeah.
Whatever. Big deal, whatever. My feelings aren't hurt or anything. Nothing. People were calling me after it and going, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm in a ska band. I've heard it all. Like, don't even worry about me. If we had like a better picture or something, maybe it would have been like, you know, for a long time we didn't really focus on like any of that other stuff, like image, all that other stuff. Yeah, it is actually important. I hate to say it. It's important, especially for a band with a girl singer. Like, even if your image is not to be like a super girly girl singer, like I feel like you kind of have to have an image. Like Amy Interrupter, like Pauline Black, you know, from like the Selector and stuff like that, like the more like androgynous or like masculine, you know, and like that's a style.
Right.
Or like you go the other way, you could be like Gwen Stefani or like Monique Musse Ferris.
Yeah.
And be like more sexy or something. But yeah, it's weird being in like a band and not really focusing on that for so long, and then trying to like come around and be like a whole package. Because I feel like that's one of the reasons why people started noticing Half Past Two, is because we were like, what aren't we, like, what have we always wanted to do, or like what do we think you know, would get us noticed that like we just have been so lazy not to do. And one of them was just like being a little more serious about our image, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of getting like different, you know, in terms of like traditionalness versus today. You know, again, people are loving the videos, you know, that's what people want to see. And I think, you know, when you guys throw videos up, I mean, so all that stuff I think also kind of contributes, you know.
We love making videos, obviously.
Yeah, not a lot of ska bands actually make videos, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think that's gonna work out really well, you know, because these videos last forever. You feel me? I mean, unless you got to, so you know.
One of our goals was like, we're like, okay, like in the future, like, we just made a goal list. We were like, let's just start ticking things off the list, because we're honest with ourselves. Like, we're like, let's not try and be famous. If we just want to be in a band and do whatever we want to do, like, what do we want to do? We want to make a video for every like single, like it, or every song. I would love to make a video for every song.
Yeah.
During COVID, I've been like trying to pressure myself just to go back and make videos for like old songs just for fun.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important. Like, people digest things in different ways, you know. Some people are used to just listening to music, right? Just sitting down and listening to music in the car, and that's how they like it. You know, some people need to sit down still and listen to an album from beginning to end. Some people can't stand that, and they flip through a song so fast, you know. Some people need to be watching a video to be engaged by the music they're hearing.
Right.
It's just how it is now. And so it's fun to try and think of new ways to make videos. And we're so lucky to have so many people on our side, like, helping us. Half Past Two is not just the 9 people you see in our band. There are so many people that make this happen.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So
yeah. I mean, hey, you know, you kind of, to further your point, you know, not everyone has like Spotify and Apple Music too, you know, like there's still a lot of people I know that are looking stuff up on YouTube, and you know, a lot of the times you don't find all the bands that you might be streaming on Spotify, on YouTube so easily. And music videos is like, you know, like the perfect kind of like, hey, you know, and exactly how you're saying, people digest it differently. But I was gonna say also, you know, in terms of like, you know, when you say that you feel like you're not there yet, that's actually surprising, like, you know, like musically speaking, because listening, it almost sounds like you guys are just kind of like flexing, you know what I'm saying? Like on the EP, like,
We're flexing.
yeah, it's like, yo, like more what I was talking about, like when I was saying like how you were like coming in on the verse on "See You Again."
I'm glad you like it, because that was the new one. It's called Something Blue because we were joking around how like the EP only has 3 songs, and there's something old, which was Line Eyes, there's something new, which is See You Again, and something borrowed, which was I Will, but there was nothing blue, so we named it Something Blue. Which is like it's like an old wedding like saying or whatever. So that we thought we were being cheeky. It's really hard to name things when 9 people are in your band. So
right, yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, because I think I was talking about this with Cooley Ranks from the Pilfers on his thing. Yeah. But if you're talking about like my voice, I'm definitely flexing. If you're talking about our horn section, oh, we're definitely flexing. Yeah. Like if you're talking about like the rhythm section, thinking about, yeah, we're definitely we are flexing. We made this album because we were like, we the band were like, oh my god, guys, we're so good right now. Like, we're so good right now. I bet you we could record this together. You know what I mean? That was like one of those things. And that's what I was telling. That's what I'm saying to you earlier. We wanted to prove to ourselves and to other people like that we could do it, because when we were doing the songs live, we were like, dude, we're tight. This sounds tight. Our horn section has never been better. Like, they are friends, and everything about their like friendship and playing is like a little present, like wrapped up with a little bow on top. Like there's been so many members in our band come and gone. I've loved so many people that have come through the band, but like this little iteration of our band is like, I've been waiting for it. Like, yeah, so long, because everybody's just good, and they're in it. Like they love it. They love the band. They want the band to be successful. They want to do things, you know. Of course. 2:30, one of our biggest problems with, and one of the reasons why I think maybe more people hadn't heard about us before, is we are not a touring band. You know, we don't leave. We barely leave. And that one of the reasons was because we're a democracy. And if most of the band doesn't want to tour, then we're not going to. Like, yeah. Things have changed, and the majority of the band is young now. And everyone's like really young all of a sudden, and so like they want to do stuff. They want to tour. They want to like be out there crammed into like a van, you know, everyone's sleeping in the same bed. I'm not doing that. I'll have my own room. But right, of course. I mean, they want to do that. So like, let's do it. And I'm excited to do it. But then this virus came and kind of, you know, we're all in the same boat. So everybody knows what I'm about to say. There's like nothing for us to do. But example, we applied to like so many festivals for this year and were denied. And like now, because we've been like putting out all of our like content, those festivals and people are like noticing us, and they want us to come like in the future. And that's a good feeling, you know. So but I know that, what was the last time we talked about Something Blue? There was like some singles that came before that too. Yeah, and you know, that's kind of what I was noticing is when I was like looking at you guys have so much history. Like you guys already have a whole like story reputation, you know what I'm saying? You guys are pretty much doubling your way into the conversation, and I think it's working, you know, for sure. Thanks. I think it's just what you make of it, you know. Just one of the things that I went into this year telling myself was that I was just going to say yes to more things, and that's really helped during this time, because there's just been a lot of opportunities. They're not the same opportunities, you know, but we've worked with other bands like from all over the country, all over the world, you know, in just the last 4 months. and there's like plans to do other stuff, you know. Like I said, it's not the same, you know, we're not out there, we're not meeting people face to face, but anybody that wants to be accessible is accessible right now. Yeah. And even a lot of the bigger bands, like the bigger ska bands and stuff too, have been responsive to like just asking like, hey, do you want to be a part of this cover? Or like, hey, do you like want to be friends? Like even just stupid stuff like that, because everyone's just kind of sitting around. Yeah. They're not in a tour bus, they're not busy with other things. So it's kind of a fun, interesting time to try and make these new connections and make new friends and just play around with music and just experiment. Yeah.
I see you're wearing the Toasters t-shirt. You guys toured with them, right? Or
that was the last show we played. We went on 4 days of the tour that they did with Mustard Plug. Toasters comes through Southern California every like January, February, and they've taken us on tour before like 2 years ago. Nice. And they took us along this time, but like bonus, Mustard Plug was also on the tour with them. So the last show we played on the tour was February 2nd, Super Bowl Sunday, here in Garden Grove at Garden Grove Amphitheater in the locker room. Here's my shirt. It was the Academy Awards show. Nice. And we won 2 awards. I'm just reliving this moment because you know, those are our glory days now.
Heard about those.
Yeah, I love those guys. So fun, so nice. They were intimidating at first because they're just like, you know, these like older, like, you know, kind of stern looking dudes, but they're so cool. They're so nice. And they make great hot sauce.
When you guys would go on tour and come back, was there ever kind of like a demographic change that you guys would see like on your own type of headlining shows, or was it just kind of different?
I mean, our tours were over so like short, and I don't know if we saw a demographic change. I think we started like after the Real Big Fish tour, we would get like noticed places. Like that was really weird. Like when people would be like, would stop us somewhere and they'd be like, you're that girl from that band. I'm like, what? My favorite story ever was I was backstage at Warped Tour in Ventura, and I was walking with Aaron Barrett from Real Big Fish. And this girl runs up and she's like, oh my god, can I have your picture? Oh my god, I'm so excited. And she hands Aaron the camera. She wanted a picture with me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, nobody knew. Like, this was years ago. Like, nobody knew who we were. It was the greatest thing ever. I was like, do you want him in the picture too? She's like, I guess, if you want to be in the picture. Like, it was like my favorite moment of all time.
That's hilarious.
I was like, it was the best. So those were the days, man.
Yeah.
For those days to come back around. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like a demographic change. Like, maybe we did see, you know, like new people at our shows, but people that go to Real Big Fish shows, like, there's a lot of people there. And if you go to a regular old ska show, there ain't that many people there. So the people that come to our shows, yes, you will see them at a Real Big Fish show, but maybe not the other way around. Gotcha. Like, maybe we'll get like a couple more, you know?
Yeah.
But after this, who knows? Maybe people will be so hungry for shows, they'll just like drive miles and miles and they'll follow bands around and do all that fun stuff. But
of course,
no, I don't necessarily think we saw a big demographic change. I think maybe even in our own scenes, after you go on tour with a band, like you get a little more respect.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know that the other people in our scene would say that, but
right.
You know, everybody's always like hoping that they get that tour, especially if you're, you know, just a smaller band that doesn't know anybody, like you were saying earlier, you know. Just like hoping that somebody likes you, your personality, or like you're good enough. Like, and sometimes that doesn't even matter. You can be really good